Hello, this is Aroms Aigbehi, and in today's session, where I'm going to be talking about the P for pastors, but this time I'm going to be zooming in a bit more concrete because in the last few days, probably a week or so, I've been a little bit worried. Well, a little bit worried is understatement. I think I have been very worried. Um, I've been very worried because of uh, I've made a lot of research, much more research than I've done before, and about the Nigerian churches and the pastors, and in fact, African churches all over the world, and the result is extremely disturbing. The result of my research is extremely disturbing, and to say the least, I'm very sad. I'm very sad for my people, also very sad for the whole African people and the black race, because the damages that the churches is doing to them is very, very extreme and very brutal. Um, with my intellect, what I see for the future for the black race is very, very bad, except we are all together to work and make sure that these fake pastors, the 419 pastors, and the demonic pastors are actually neutralized from the black society. If that is not possible, then the black race is going to be extinct. That's just it. Because we, the black people today, the way they are being brainwashed by these pastors is so extreme, is in fact the worst case scenario of brainwashing that I've ever come across. And this brainwashing, the amazing part of brainwashing is that people who are involved don't even know that they are being brainwashed. And some of the pastors who are involved in this process don't even know that they are being used by the bigger pastors who own the church to use them to brainwash other people. So you have victims here. You have also small pastors that are victims, and you have ordinary citizens that are victims. So this got to stop. It is not something that you and I can stop today, but I want to fight with those who want to fight with me to ensure that these have to stop. The first video I made about the pastors, I made it clear that the reason that I'm doing this is because in the past 1 year, I've dedicated my life to really getting people out of poverty in Nigeria. Despite all the effort that I have put in, I came to the bitter realization that it doesn't really have that much effect on the people. They are so that you just cannot get people out of poverty, no matter how hard you try. Now I started researching why is it that I have been able to get white people out of poverty. I train white people. I over 1,000 of them from some of them had no job, nothing. I actually picked some up from literally the gutter, trained them to become successful people in life today. If I can do that, why is it that it's so difficult to train my own people, the Africans, to get out of poverty? And it's one thing that keeps coming up is the religion, especially the churches. I will even dignify them to call them the Christian churches or Christians because they are not Christians. These people are hooligans. These people are criminals that actually should be jailed because they are not Christians. They are misusing the name of Jesus for their own personal gain. But many of these pastors are doing it because of money. It's just about money. There's nothing else to it. It's just about money. And everybody that goes to church knows this, that it is only about money. So it's not only People, we say, these guys, they keep talking about the tithes, the tithes. It's not just about the tithes that people are paying. It is all the other nonsense that comes with it. People will say to you, you need to, there's home trouble. Everything that happens in Nigeria, there is demons that are responsible for it. There are home troubles that are responsible for it. There are people who doesn't want you to succeed. There are enemies. And that is where the brainwash starts. Because to be able to succeed, you need to start making prayers, coming to vigils, coming to bring money so that those troubles, those demons that are bothering you, you can cast out those demons. And the casting out of those demons, that cost a lot of money, a lot of time and energy to cast them out. Let me give you an example. When I was in, I have a farm in Nigeria. Most people know that. There were times people would come to work every day. We would lose like 10 people. They come to work, but they are not actually working. They will fall asleep at work. They will not be able to do anything. So the first idea I had was, these people they don't want to work. That was the first idea. And later I realized, I thought, they are lazy. That was the second idea. But after interviewing a few of them, I realized that what happened is that they go to church in the weekdays and they will spend the night, all-nighter in the church, and they will be fasting, they will be praying, they will be singing, and in the morning, guess what? They go to work to give half service. Now, when they come to work, they are tired because this is work that you need your body for. They are tired, so every little break they take, they fall asleep. So I have pictures of people, my workers, sleeping at the farm. And that gets me irritated because they are being paid full salary, but they sleep in the farm. And these are not people who are not educated. These are highly educated people, university graduates. Then I think the time that these people, so even the Bible said that you have to give your full service to your master for a day's job. To get a day's full pay, you must give a day's full task. That's what the Bible said. But these people, they neglect that, go to the church, spend the whole night there, only to come the next day and not able to work. And they expect that their boss would accept that. Now, another example is that people, actually we say they are fasting for 20 days. Can you imagine fasting for 20 days? And I have nothing against fasting. But if you fast and then you want to do hard work, that is the wrong time to do it. That's why the Muslims, they announce a time they go for fasting, and all Muslims all over the world go with that fasting. And if in the time of fasting, Muslim fasting, you won't see anybody in my farm that is a Muslim. They go to the north. They will tell you, where they go house. They go back to the north. They take their time. The ones that are still left in other parts of the country, they fast, but they don't do hard work anymore because you cannot do hard work when you are fasting. But now, so they don't get paid as well. But the so-called Christians, they come to work almost dead and they want to work. And it is never programmed. So you can have 5 people who are fasting this week who come to work, they're not doing their best. Next week, you have another 5 people. Then a week later, these ones that fasted, they come and fast again. So you have this chaos that is going on. So therefore, you have very low productivity. Very low productivity. So now, that is some of the problems that you get. But the biggest problem that you have is what I'm going to talk today is in the head. In the head. What Nigerian churches are doing that is creating really severe problems with black people today. And number one, I put them in the order that I've written them down, is destabilizing of the people morally. Today the religion, the pastors are really destroying the people morally, in the sense that every one of us have a voice in their head that always tell you are not good enough, you're not good enough, you're not good enough. And that is what is keeping people back. That little voice in your head, everybody have it, I have it too. No matter how good I perform, that voice will like to come up and say, it was not good enough, or this was not good enough. But so all of us, no matter how big you are, no matter how educated you are, no matter how brilliant you are, we already have that voice inside that we call the internal dialogue that keep arguing with you all the time. So that is already difficult to deal with normally. Now, what the pastors have done in Nigeria is that they have used that, they have amplified that voice. They have amplified that voice. Because to succeed in life, to become a successful person in life, whether in education, in training, in business, doesn't matter, in a society, that voice that keeps telling you that you are not good enough, you need to suppress it. You need to stop listening to that voice. Say, yeah, I'm good enough. I am the best. You have to psych yourself up to be successful. But what the churches have done in Nigeria is to say, look, that voice, we're going to put it in amplifier. We're going to amplify it and take over your whole head. So now, how do they do that? Anything you do is never good enough in the eyes of the Lord. Anything you did or are doing is never good enough in the eyes of the Lord. Therefore, you have to pray more, you have to pray harder, you have to pray harder, 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 harder. And when you don't pray hard enough, that is the reason why that your problems are not solved. So you have all these problems that are natural. Everybody in the world have problems. But they have made you to believe that unless you are not good enough, that is why the Lord is not answering your prayer. So what you have to do more is to pray harder, pray longer, spend more time praying, and coming for Sunday night vigil, Saturday night vigil, the whole week vigil, going for fasting all the time to be accepted to the Lord. And you know what? The worst part of it is that if it is just you praying at home, that is nothing, that would be okay. But they are asking you to come to the church, bring the small money you have to buy holy water, to come and pay the pastor for extra prayer, for to cast out demons, to do all these things. So it is a double whammy. The first part is that your brain is being destabilized by saying, okay, look, you are never good enough. No matter what you do, the Lord doesn't accept you until you do more. Okay, now you do more. The little you have financially, you have to give it again so that more can be done for you. So it is what we call a spiral cycle down. It's like when you flush the toilet, you see the water go, where does it go? It goes into the sewage. That's what they are doing with the mind of the people, the morality, the moral status of the people. So it demoralizes people. And I've actually had people who are depressed. Right now, the number of people who are depressed in Nigeria, who are writing me, it is just mind-boggling. And that is why I have become so concerned, because these people are depressed, and when you go deeper into their cause of depression, it's not because the dollar is too high. It's not because of inflation in the country. It's not because of lack of job. But it comes back to the fact that in their mind, some people have screwed them up, and they believe so weird stuff these days. And you are your mind. If you lose your mind, you are no longer there. So therefore, somebody that is screwing up the minds of another person, that is actually the biggest disservice you can do to another human being, to screw up their mind. And that is what the pastors are doing today. So we are now having a lot of frustrated people, completely clinically depressed in Nigeria today, and they are not getting medical treatment. They are not getting spiritual treatment from these pastors. Because even when they should come for help, then more problem is going to be laid upon them. Say, look, your work was not enough. So that is for me, and I can write a whole book about this, and I'm going to do that one day. So the first major thing that I came up with is the fact that people are being demoralized, just completely demoralized people. The value that people used to have, say, look, this is me. You hit your chest with a hand. It is now going. Now, The worst part of this is that the most victims are young people. The young people that are growing up today who's supposed to have a very, a bright future, no matter how difficult it is in their country. You need to give them hope, a bright future. Give them that, let them understand that the future depends on them. If they work hard at it, it will change. No, 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 no. That is not what the pastors have done to them. The pastors have gathered them all together in church and keep brainwashing them, that these people are just like zombies these days and they are demoralized. They have absolutely no idea what to do with their lives. Okay? So, number 2 is fear. The level of fear that has been created in Nigeria in the minds of people is mind-boggling. I was surprised when I was in Nigeria that it's not what I mean fear is that it's not that people are afraid of the police or people are afraid of that is not the fear I'm talking about. I'm talking about spiritual fear. That people simply are afraid that everything is going to kill them. Honestly, everything is going to kill them. And this fear that is destabilizing a lot of things in life. For me, I'm a typical example. My parents were so afraid because and this is true story, my wife was not allowed to come to the family home because there was so much fear that the day this woman will come to this house and somebody will die. Somebody told them that the day my wife will come into the family home, that somebody will die. So, because they don't want somebody to die in the family, my wife was never allowed to come to the family home. And for 20 years, my father did not say even a word to my wife. No, hello, nothing. Must not come. When we came to Nigeria, we had to stay in a hotel, and I go and visit my family, but my wife was never allowed to step a foot in the house. Why? It's because of this type of belief. Imagine how much distress that caused a family to believe like that. And there are so many families in Nigeria today, they believe in things like that. Not exactly that one, but there will be another belief, another fear that is put in their mind because it has to do with the fear of the unknown. Now, the amazing part of it is that in Nigeria, we have people who study science. You cannot really call them scientists, but they study science. Science is a subject that seeks for answers. If something seems impossible, if something seems not possible, it is the duty of science, people who study science, to research further to find answers to these questions. So now I look at people who study different types of sciences in Nigeria. It can be biology, physics, or whatever. They still believe in this crap as well. So how can you believe? Because science, if I'm a scientist, and there is, I'll give you a typical example. If I am in a place and I discover in a city like Edo State, and the GSM network is not working, my phone cannot pick up any network, then the first thing that comes to my head is not that the witches are doing it, or somebody is doing this thing here now. No, the first thing that comes to my head is that, the networks are all down, or somebody has a GSM blocker that is blocking all signals around me. Those are the first thing that comes to my head. And if I am there for a certain reason, then I can have a device in my pocket that I use to test and see if there is a GSM blocker blocking the network in my area. That is a scientific reasoning. But a Nigerian man will totally look at it and say, look, which day here? There's somebody with a bad spirit that is blocking the network. Now, not only that, for people who are not educated, people who are not scientists, I can understand that. But how is it possible that somebody who studies science, who is in a university, sometimes even have a master's degree and PhD in it, still believe in this type of nonsense? So you have, in Nigeria, you have professors who believe that they can be bulletproof from taking some concussion. In Nigeria, you have doctors, professors, scientists who believe that if they are going to Lagos, they must not tell somebody because somebody can send a witch to go and kill them on the road. And not only that, they spend their life sacrificing, and doing a lot of going to VG and spending late nights in a church just for this. You know, the time people spend in the church, somebody that go and spend 5 days in the church to fast for a vigil and everything to solve their problems, if you just spend the same amount of time researching it online, you will come out with a much more severe, a much more better solution that will serve you for the rest of your life. Honestly, like I tell you, give you an example of I've put up a program for Nigerians Nigerians all over the world. Our people are some of the poorest people in the world, and it's not because they are dumb. It's just because they don't understand how the world works. So I discovered that a lot of our people, they don't even understand how to invest money. They've never done it before. They never invested money in the stock market. They can be 50 years in America. They can be 30 years in the UK, but they've never done it before. But that is how the world move around. So I set up a program and said, look, I'm training people to, invest in and create wealth in the stock market. But what I discovered is that some people said, they work. Why they work? Because there is a demon that is following them from Africa. This demon, anytime they start something, the thing not they work. Then I think, okay, if I buy a share, I go to the stock market, I buy a share from Amazon.com. I tell you, buy the same share from Amazon.com. So you buy the same share from Amazon.com. So because of the witch that is following you from Africa, then the share of Amazon.com is going to drop. And it will drop and crash forever. This is a company that is worth billions. It's the largest store in the world. The largest e-commerce store in the world. So your little demon in Africa can crash the stock of that company. Well, if you believe that, then I have a bridge to serve to you in San Francisco. It is not possible. So those are the type of irrational beliefs that people have. And that belief, what does that do? Is actually create fear in people. And it demoralizes them, which was the first point. But the fear to act, there is this big fear in their mind that they don't act in anything. They don't do something in anything. I remember when I was in Nigeria, when I want to leave the farm, it's my business. I'm the CEO of the company. So I go there and I bring drinks and I bring food and we celebrate and I talk. I have a personal chat with everybody. I shake their hands and everything. And then I drive away. That's my last day at the farm. Nobody knows that is my last day, but I come one day and I just do that. And then I greet everybody and I go. And I tell them, I'll see you next time. So they know that is my last day. Then some people come to me later and say, don't do that again, oh, don't do that again, oh. Don't let them go, you are going, oh, because they will go and kill you on the road. So how would they kill me on the road? It's Africa now. But I've been doing that for the past 4 years. And I'm still alive. I can understand that somebody say, if you are coming into the country, say, don't tell everybody that you are coming. Don't announce it because you don't want somebody can go and kidnap you or whatever. That I can understand. But not that when I'm now exiting the country, that I'm telling you, I have packed my goods now. I'm in front of my car and we're going to Lagos airport right now. And they say, don't tell anybody, don't tell anybody. What, because the witch is going to lay me on the road and kill me. But that's not how it works. And, and all this is creating fear. And all of you who are watching me, most of you are Nigerians, you will know that this fear that is being created is causing so much problems in our society, so much distrust in our society. Now, let's analyze it for a while. Every Nigerian person that I know wants to go into business. That is a true story. Every Nigerian person that I know wants to go into business, or today, or tomorrow, or just came back from doing business and failed. And most Nigerians that I know are serial failures in business. They start something and fail. They start another one and fail. They start third one and fail. The fourth one fail. Fifth one fail. So when you ask them, why did you fail all this time? You say, yeah, my people are responsible. My people, they have this big witch in their family, and that is the one that is doing it. So the pastor now is telling them the same thing. The pastor is telling them the same thing, that there is the demons is on them. That is why their businesses are failing. Now, let's try to analyze this for a moment. This same person, or this same group of Nigerians, have never read one book about doing business. Not one book. If you go to the Amazon.com, you have maybe about 5,000 books that have been written in business, how to do business, different type of business, real estate, investment, this and that. But this person have never read one book about doing business. He has never followed a lecture on how to do business. He has never finished 1 hour of video on YouTube on how to do business. But the person expects to be a successful business person. It's not possible. When I started business, since I've been running business, I have had at least 4 businesses that failed. Every businessman has businesses that fail. But we don't call it failure. We call it an unsuccessful experiment. And that lead you to something else. Every single of those things people say, the business failed. If you look back to my life, you discover that something else came out of it. Something else came out of it. Everything that I did with a lot of struggle, but something else always spring out from it. So that's why businessmen don't call it failure. But another thing the real businessmen do is that they keep going. They never give up. They keep going, they keep going, they keep going. Because, somebody once told me and he said, look, why business people have always problem is this. Because you are pushing the limit all the time. You're always pushing the limit. And you don't know where the elastic is going to break. So you have this elastic and you are pulling it, you're pulling it. You've never pulled it this far before. You say, look at it, don't reach like this, or you don't pull and reach like this. Okay, pull on some more. You pull it some more. It never break. Okay, pull on. But yeah, one day it's going to break. That is what business is, because you are always pushing to an environment you were never before. It's like now some people are working with me. They have paid for training to learn how to trade the stock market. So okay, look, good idea. But then I discovered that some people don't even have a bank account. You will need a bank account to start to open before you can open a trading account. Okay? Without a bank account, some people they have lost their passport, they don't even have an identity, so they cannot identify themselves. You will need to have an identity to be able to open a trading account. Some people have a bank account, but they don't have a MasterCard. You would need a MasterCard to be able to transfer funds, or a Visa card, can be a debit card or whatever, to be able to transfer funds to your trading account. A lot of people don't know that. There's nothing wrong if you don't know that. What I'm only trying to say is, you see, you've left your comfort zone where you were all the time, wearing nice clothes and dancing, doing the Nigerian dance and things like that. So you have left that comfort zone now. You want to go into investment. You've never done it before. Then suddenly you realize, there's an obstacle. Boom. I need a trading account. Okay, let's go and open one. I cannot because I need a bank account. But I have a bank account now. But you still cannot because you don't have a debit card from Visa or MasterCard. So all this, because you are constantly pulling the elastic. And by the time you think you are done, then there's something else again. So that is how business works. It's like me running a farm in Nigeria. I never ran a big farm in Nigeria before. So when we started the farm, so we ship, so go bring tractors. So we did, so we say we'll bring tractors in Nigeria. So that was a big story. Never told that story before, but it's a very big story. I don't want to tell it today. So by the time you came to Lagos, you discovered that, oh, there's another big story at the port. You never dealt with that one before. Then after some time, everything finally came out. They'll transport the tractors to Benin City, another big story. You never dealt with it before. And then you came to Benin City, you discovered that, now the story is just getting started. And then finally we had to confront the herdsmen. Never confronted those type of people before in my life. So we dealt with it. Then I had to confront the governor. Now, I never thought a governor could behave that way before in life. So you have to deal with it. So you keep dealing with it. You keep dealing with it. It is not the devil that is doing it. It is not a demon that is doing it. That's just because you are out of your comfort zone. You are now pulling that elastic. And when that elastic snapped, that's when people say, oh, it don't fail. And for a lot of people, that elastic snapped very quick. Because the pastor have told them that there is demon in their head. There is demon that is following them. So, like in case of the trading, first of all, some people snap already when they hear that, look, trading. It doesn't matter, I can learn it, but you know they work. So that the elastic don't snap already. Then the ones that come along, by the time they hear that, you need a bank account to be able to start a trading business, investment business. If I go now, they're not going to give me bank account. No, man, I live there. White people, they just block everywhere. Those who have a bank account say, the trading account, they discriminate against black people. Nobody will open trading account for us. We'll just leave them. So that is what I mean. They are not even willing to take the next step. Go to the next step, go to the next step, go to the next step. And that is because somebody can say, but it has nothing to do with religion or pastor. That is true, but like I said, the pastors have amplified that voice in your head. They put amplifier there and turn it full volume. So every time people want to do something, that voice will come and say, they work. They do this one, they do this one. So keep going. So and then people keep going back to the church to pray and pray and pray and pray, instead of using the time to learn it, research it, get better in doing it to make it work. Okay? So people say, Mr. Aroms is on Facebook, is making a video. But do you know how long it took to be able to learn how to make videos, to be able to learn how to, it's not just standing in front of the camera. You need a good camera, you need a good audio, you need a good system, you need to get light. Like now the weather is very bad outside, so you are seeing me in well-lit camera. I do everything myself. I had to study lighting. Before I was able to master the art of lighting a video, it took time, energy. I have to go and buy the lamps, study them, put them together. I have to find out, okay, what type of microphone will work better. Then when we start, they work. Go and research again. Go to people who are doing this online. Find out, okay, what is the type of microphone they are using. Go buy one or two. Try it. You keep going. You keep going. But what people see is the end result. And when they see the end result, they say, the man get luck. He don't get home trouble. Now he make him. The family, they never attack him. It has nothing to do with home trouble or family never attack him. It just have to do with the fact that, look, Mr. Aroms is rugged. He goes on until it is done. I don't stop. I never did. I just keep going. I march on until it is done. Now, because there is no pastor telling me that I cannot do it, there is no voice in my head that the pastor has amplified that said, look, until I go and pray in the Sunday in the VG, that is not going to be done. If you look at the time that people waste weekly going to the VG, I'm not saying people shouldn't go to church, but all the extra time wasting opportunity, time wasting in the church If you just invest it in your life, in your career, in what you plan to do, you will be amazed on how fast you develop. Okay, and that is what is making me sad, because I discovered that until we really get Africans out of the church and get them to work, we are never going to make anything happen in Africa. The mess will just go on, the underdevelopment will go on, the craziness will go on, and the wickedness will go on. So, and that is why we are doing this. Now, that brings me to the third one, which is, because of this, the pastor have brought everything to the Lord. So, therefore, the average African does not feel that his destiny is right on his hand. You can do anything you want to do, but you got to learn how to do it and get on to work. That idea, Africans don't have that anymore. Because the pastor said, you leave it to the Lord. Just put it in prayer. And then it will be taken care of. But that prayer is not just going to privately and pray over it. No. You have to waste your time in it. You have to spend a week in the church. You have to fast. You have to go and bring the little money you have. You have to go and pay extra money for that to be delivered. Yeah, that's the word they use. So deliverance. You know, I don't go to those churches, so I don't know. Deliverance. You have to be delivered. Delivered from what? So meanwhile, you are not working on anything. You're not working on anything. You're busy waiting to be delivered. People don't realize that, look, you have everything under your hand, under your palm. When I started this program online, I started 4 months ago. You go to the Facebook page, we have there more than 100 videos that I have created. People are learning from it. We have, if you go to the Aroms Aigbehi page, we have there also videos, but more than 30 videos that I also created. If you go to, we have created different sites. You know, I started the 1 million letter project. There's so many projects that I was able to start in the last 4 months alone that normal people, it takes them maybe a year to try to start one. And meanwhile, you're truly start 5 of these projects. And these 5 are running. And we're using it to change life, to help people. So the question is, we all have the same 24 hours. But why is it that I can do all this? Because number one, that voice in my head that the pastor has, for a lot of people, we all have that voice. The pastor have amplified it, turned it very loud. That voice in mine is very, very low. You only whisper. You only can whisper. Because the way I'm trained, that voice have no power. Secondly, in my life, I believe that I can change anything. Doesn't matter who, what is going on. If I don't understand it, there are a lot of things I don't understand though. If I don't understand it, I'm going to spend a week studying. And that weekend is like I'm behind my computer, Google is my friend, and I just get to it. Research, make notes, watch, until I have actually studied and watched videos of training materials that I couldn't see anymore. Then somebody has to drag me to bed. That is the type of dedication that you put into anything you want to do to be successful. In Africa, Africans are no longer putting in this type of dedication in anything they do. And that is why the success is not coming. It has nothing to do with the fact that, there's a home trouble somewhere, or the spirit is, the demon is sitting on somebody, or whatever. Why can't the demon sit on me? And there are a lot of people like me that demons don't sit on. Why? Why is it that the demons always pick some people to go and sit on them? The reason is that, first of all, the demon is not sitting on them in the first place. They don't need to cast anything out. They are their own enemy. Because it is a choice. It is a choice. Is people make the choice to spend the next 3 hours to learn, like a lot of people are learning from me now, or spend the next 3 hours to go and drink beer in a cafe, or spend the next 3 hours watching football. It's a choice people make. And it is all these choices, accumulation of all these choices, that leads us to where we are in life. And today, a lot of Africans, not only Nigerians, black Africans, are making very, very bad choices, very, very destabilizing choices that is going to have a much more bigger ramification in the future. What is happening now is just a prelude, it's a preamble. And if we cannot stop this, or we don't stop this, then in 50 years' time, Africans, black Africans would have deteriorated mentally than where they are today. And it's not going to be the fault of anybody else or the white people but it's going to be the fault of the Africans, black people themselves. Because people often say, look, a lot of people will say, yeah, the white man brought the Bible. It was the white man's fault that brought the Bible. My question is, how many white pastors do we have now in Nigeria? How many white pastors do we have in African churches? Because what people don't realize is that the Christianity that the white people brought, that was much closer to what Jesus Christ said or teaches than the Christianity that the black people are now bringing. So what happened is that the black people have rejected the teachings of the Bible that Jesus Christ brought, and now they have come out with their own brand. And like every other thing, black people like to screw up things. So they have screwed up and turned this whole Christianity upside down. So that is why people like me have to start speaking out, because if we don't, our people are doomed forever. Because the biggest damage you can do is to the minds of the people. You see, there are some damages like the slave trade. It does both physical damages and mental damages. But the ones that the pastors are doing today is going to have more ramification to the detriment of the African people than the slave trade. And it is, so in my generation, I cannot be alive and yet not speak out. I cannot be alive and yet not speak out, because I'm speaking what I feel and what I have, intellectually come to understand, that this is a serious impediment to progress. This is what is going on now. It's a serious impediment to the progress of the black race. And as a black man, it is time we have to start talking about it, not just talking about it, doing something about it to start changing this course. Because that is the only way Africa can ever come out of this mess. We can put in $100 billion into development of the black man. The black man will not be developed because mentally he is screwed up from the church. And then people will say, yeah, but the Muslims are not Christians. Yes, but the Bible said the Christians have to be light to the world. If the Christians were light to the world and they were successful and are the most successful people in the world, believe me, other religion will go down. People will say, that man, how come he's so successful? Yeah, you don't know. He's a Christian. What they learned there, hey, wow. Tomorrow he will want to be a Christian because everybody wants to be successful. One of the reasons why all the other religions that you may not like are exploding is because Christianity in Nigeria has failed. This is no longer Christianity. So therefore, the mental laziness. So what is going on is that a huge mental laziness, because what goes on in Nigeria today is that people go to school. When they finish their school, say maybe they go to university, they finish that university and they come home, they are looking for a job. Somebody will be looking for a job for 5 years. I even know somebody who has been looking for a job for 10 years. Okay. This person looked for a job for 10 years, not only one, there are a lot of them. But the brain is so lazy that this person cannot come up with something ingenious to create jobs. But They go to the church every time to pray. The pastor will keep telling this person that something is holding you back. So it's maybe the mother is holding him back, the father is holding him back, the brothers, or there's a woman in the village. There's always a woman in the village, the witch, who is holding that person back why he cannot get a job. I have a cousin like that. I hope he sees this video one day. This cousin is an accountant. He said he studied accountancy. He's an accountant. So one day, I gave this person a job because we needed, to start putting the books together in the company. So I gave this person a job. To my greatest dismay, this person cannot even prepare accounting records. Okay? We're not talking about balance sheet, to create a balance sheet. We're not talking about to create an account report. We're not talking about creating, anything complex in accounting. What we just say is that, okay, go put the records together, debit and credit. And this young man couldn't do it. After a lot of shouting at each other, after a lot of, trying to help him, try to direct him to books where he can read, give him time. After 6 months, I said, look, cannot go on like this. So this is a limited liability company, and we need to put the accounts together. So since you cannot do it, then you got to go. This is a young man that didn't have a job for the past 7 years. But even so in that 7 years, he did not study anything. And now you finally got the job. You still don't find it because it is when we started, we were small. I just want to make sure that the accounting is done properly. So I said, let's start very early. Even then, you don't say the time that you spend in the office that you didn't have something to do, let's get to work. Even when that person was under my mentorship, my training, give them book, give them video, give them lesson, give them software, give them computer, data. I will be anywhere I'm in the world. I can reach the office and I can link him up with my computer. I will be showing him things on my desktop that he can learn from. But even then, this young man did not pick up anything. Sometimes I would call, where are you? I'm just there somewhere. I'm there, but the person will not be in his office. So now, but this person is the first one to arrive at the church. They say it's home problem. So, person finally lost his job. Now the home problem got bigger. So the person went to the church and the pastor said, yeah, so the home problem now is much more bigger than it was. Haba. But the pastor does not tell him that, look, tell me again about that work. How was it? What did you do? What did you do wrong? No, pastor says home trouble. So he has to now come for a vigil. So we will come now. We spend another 3 weeks going, hitting you and casting the demons out of you and trying to brainwash you some more. And you go and bring more money that you don't have, go and steal it. So this young man, where must he get the money? So he has to go and kidnap somebody or go and get, take part in an armed robbery. This is so destabilizing because if I were to have a program of mind reset, you need to reset the minds of the people. What you should be doing with these young men is to bring them together and try and explain to them and teach them what the cause and effect of what they are doing. Because you didn't spend time in preparing, when opportunity comes, you are not prepared for it, so you don't get it. So here you are, the life goes always past you. Okay, see, you are here, you are coming, and life goes past you. So you never grab it because you are not prepared for it. To be prepared, you have to be here to grab the opportunity. So people are not preparing for their lives. People are not preparing for their lives, and this is going on everywhere. Somebody said to me, "Look, when I was I have been in various situations, various high positions in life, in corporate environment as a consultant, and one thing I always notice that when you are in a business, big business, by the time you get higher, you will never see Africans anymore. Every big office has people that clean their offices. Okay, most of the time they're black people or people from other countries who clean offices in big corporations. When you get higher, and then you have security, Africans. By the time you get higher and higher and higher, by the time you start to get to big offices, then the black man will stop. Then you will have, especially Africans are no longer there. Especially Nigerians, you won't see one anymore. So I used to be in high-level position consulting, and there will not be a single black person in the room. And there will not be a single black man in the room. Why? And I know that there are Africans with PhD. There are Africans with master degrees. And this, but why have they not been able to develop to that stage in life? Because they have never prepared for it. There are some black people, but not as many. If you have 200 million Nigerians, and then you have somewhere, you say, well, there's one black man there, he is in a high position. It's nothing to be proud of. It's nothing to be proud of. So the reason it has been like that is that so many of us have never prepared for life. And they are still not preparing for life. And that's just the main problem. So because of the mental laziness that has been they have created, and this mental laziness is what the pastor is now making, is now amplifying. So our people, because of religion, because of pastorism, because of fake pastor, their mental laziness have been expanded. So you now have a generation of people who cannot put reason one and two together. So, because if you go to companies, people complain about Nigeria. They say, Buhari don't do this, so the governor is doing this, so the other one is, Okorocha has done this wonder in his state. Then I started analyzing this situation. I said, why are these people like this? And there are a lot of things that comes out that are very interesting. We're going to keep that to the next time. But the one interesting thing why these people are like that is that these people don't even know that what they are doing is wrong. Because if you talk with these people, they find themselves the most perfect people on earth, the most brilliant people on earth. Why? Because if a governor, for example, in a state, he goes to a church, guess where he sits? In the front row of the church. The pastor, the man of God, bowed before him. The man of God prayed for him, and he called him different types of good things, different accolades, they call them. He calls them, the man of God said they are the most intelligent people. They are the most, they are the men of dignity. They are honorable gentlemen. They are men without blemish. And no spot, men without blemish. So now you have a corrupt politician sitting in the front of the church, and the man of God that is highly respected, that is having breakfast with God every time, is now saying that this person is a man without blemish. No single spot on his morality. He's saying that this man is the most intelligent person in his state. He's saying that this man is a man of high caliber, a man with you guys know all these accolades. I'm not a typical Nigerian, so I don't know. But all those people listening to me know they can please put in more of those accolades, how Nigerians pump themselves up, so that other people can read it. So that is what goes on. So now this governor comes back home and thinks, I'm already a man without blemish now. I'm a man of high integrity, honorable gentleman. I'm excellency. God has rated me so high already. There's no point to even try. Again, mental laziness. There is no white person who would govern a state, any state in Nigeria, and in 4 years the state will still be the way it is. Bring a white person to any state in Nigeria, don't give that state 1 naira. Don't give that state 1 naira. That white governor will take the state out of poverty in 5 years. Honestly. And a lot of us who have learned the white mentality give us a state in Nigeria don't give us 1 naira. In 5 years, that state will be transformed. Because you don't need money to be successful. Money is, in fact, people who don't know how to be successful, you give them money, they will lose the money. You can go and stay and wait for them. They'll come and beg you money one day. Money is not, doesn't, you don't need money to be successful. Money, you need the creative mentality. You need to expand your scope of understanding, and that mental laziness have to be gone. That is how success comes in. Somebody like me, go and put me in Ouagadougou with that $1. I will find out how to sell sand and make something out of sand and sell it to the people. It's just the mental capacity. And that mental capacity can be developed. Some people are born with it. Okay? But we all can develop it. The problem is, today the black people are not developing their mental capacity. It just stays where it is. So because it stays where it is, therefore there is no invention is taking place from the black society. That is why in Nigeria they will say black people don't have a maintenance culture. Yeah, we Nigerians don't have maintenance culture. Sometimes people even say it like something they have to be proud of. We don't have maintenance culture. Why? Because of mental laziness. Yesterday I was watching on TV and I saw a girl. There was a girl in I think it was Georgia. She was cleaning electric pole. There was this community of houses, and her job was to clean the electric poles. Can you imagine that? And I looked at my wife. We had to laugh. Say, laugh, good thing, because these people are so clean and so orderly that they, I didn't even know that they did that. So you drive by all the time, you see all these clean electric poles, clean board and everything. I didn't even know that somebody washed them. But this girl, that was her job to wash these poles. So, but you look at Nigeria, you see mess everywhere. People actually pile up this mess and they live inside. Why? Because of mental laziness. Because, look, it is your brain that has to get you out of bed in the morning. It is your brain that has to stop procrastinating. It is your brain that have to pick up a book and do it. It is your brain that have to decide, that makes all the decision what you do with your time. It's your brain that decides if to get to the meeting on time or don't go to the meeting at all, or lie and say, hey, my mama just died and I cannot come. When I was in Nigeria, there was a boy that his mother died 3 times. His mother died 3 times. So those are the situation, those are the things that we all are what we have to stop. We have to put an end to it. So somebody told me, I said, look, when the videos are too long, we cannot see it all. So I'm going to cut this video short. That's why I'm going to make it 3 parts. So this is the first part. I've talked about 5 things. That is demoralization of the mind, what the pastors are doing. That's number 1. And number 2 is they are creating fear in the people. Fear. That is causing a lot of trouble. And number 3 is that because of the belief system, people don't believe that they are capable of doing anything. They are capable of doing something that will liberate them because the demon is sitting on them now. So what else can I do? So I just stay where you were. And when number 4, we have what we call, the mental laziness. Mental laziness is a serious thing. Aroms is going to spend the rest of his life fighting this mental laziness. The only way to get in the same playing ground with the rest of the world is through the brain. You can shout all you want. You can carry a boat to go to Italy. You can do all that. You cannot. Mental laziness. Because today, a typical young man or woman to live in Nigeria to the desert needs 500,000 naira. At least 500,000 naira. Okay. I can take a young man with 500,000 naira through a business in Nigeria, and in 3 years, the person will have at least 5 to 6 million naira. Okay? A young man with 500,000 naira, I can teach that person to invest through online business and online investment, and in 3 years, the person will also have 5 million. By the time you have 5 million, then it's more easier to develop to create 2-3 million every year for the rest of your life, at least. Okay, so now try to imagine this. These are all possibilities that are there today in this same world. It is no longer because you are a black man, you are in Africa, you don't do it. Okay, now, these Africans would prefer to go through the desert, go through the ocean or the sea, to go into Italy and become beggars there. Why? Because the brain is being destroyed by the churches, by the people, by this, and this got to change. And when they get there, when they get to Europe, guess what they do? They stay with the churches. They don't say, this thing don't do, I want to stop this mess now. No, they just continue with the same churches. And they are Nigerian pastors in Europe, Nigerian pastors in America, Nigerian pastors in Asia, and they are doing the same thing. They're all 419 pastors. They are doing the same thing. So that's the first one. And the last one, which is number 5, because I'm going to break this point. There are 10 points, and I'm going to break them into 2. And then the third video, I'm going to be talking about what you need to do to get out of this mental bondage. The fifth one is the destruction of relationship. The destruction of relationship. Now, what saddens me the most is that you have a poor woman that cannot give birth. This woman, they go to the church, and the pastor makes this woman believe that it is her fault that she cannot give birth. Now, first of all, every time there is infidelity, so anytime there is lack of child in the house or childlessness, it's not always the fault of the woman. In fact, if you can call it even a fault, it's only in Nigeria they say it's a fault. It's not the fault of anybody. Sometimes a couple cannot have a child because the man has low sperm count or the woman has uterus problem. There are some things, and that's why we have fertility clinic. But these two people, they go to the church, and the pastor said, yeah, the demon is there. The demon is sitting on you. The woman is possessed. It's always the woman that is possessed. It's hardly that the man gets possessed. The woman is possessed because the pastor look at the woman as the weaker one. So that is the one easier to attack. So the woman is possessed. So since this woman is possessed now, we have to attack the woman. We have to destroy the woman. We have to beat her down so that money can come. That's just what it's all about. Because by the time you beat her down, the man will go and bring the money. It's a choice that the pastor has to make. If we beat the man down, can the woman raise the money? In most families, the man is the breadwinner. So let's beat the woman down. Seriously, the man will go and raise the money. It's kidnapping, man. Basically, that's what kidnappers do. Kidnappers never kidnap the one that doesn't have the money in the family. They do it the other way around. The one with the money gets kidnapped, and then so they have to go and when they kidnap you, then the people have to go and bring money to bail you out because you are the one that is serious, big dude in family. You are the one that is not. In the church, the same process. You kidnap in this case the weaker one, beat that person up severely, so that the one that is stronger go and bring the money. Now, and the worst case is that after some time, they actually convince the two of them, the couple, that this woman is sleeping with demons, which means there's actually a demon coming in the night to have sex with your wife. That demon, if you cannot cast that demon out, then that demon will keep having sex with your wife. Therefore, you never can have a child. But the underlying medical problem is never solved. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the underlying physical medical problem. No. So therefore, you can pray all you want. You can beat up this woman all you want. You can kick her all you want. This woman is never going to have a child because there is a medical issue. And it's even possible that it's the man that has the issue. Okay? So what finally happened is that this couple go back home and have a strange relationship. They start fighting each other. It's your fault. Now you do one. Now your mama do one. Now your papa do one. Now your grandfather went come here last and I do one. From today go, your family member are no longer allowed into this house. So, lie. No family members are allowed into this house. If I see your mama here again, this house will be too small for us. So now the pastor have, screw up the brain of these people, and now creating, problems in their relationship. The same thing. So it's not only creating problem in that relationship. So suddenly, your grandmama is now involved. Your grandpapa is now involved. Your mama, your papa is now involved. Your uncle, even your neighbor is now the potential demon, the witch that is making you not to get pregnant. So therefore, if they give you food next time, not chop, because that's how they come into you. The sad part of this story is that we have a lot of brothers and sisters in the diasporas, and I really thought, long time ago, I really believed that, Nigerians in the diaspora, they should know better by now. I had that idea for a very long time. Because I thought that everybody was like me. After you have stayed 30 years in the diaspora, you must have learned something now. You must have learned a great deal. To my greatest astonishment, embarrassment, and dismay, I discovered that most Nigerians in the diasporas, most Africans in the diasporas are just like the ones back home. Somebody will write their parents, their people, to bring juju from Nigeria. Haba. Was it not the same juju they say doesn't cross water? Suddenly now your own will cross water into Europe. Your own will cross water into America. The same juju that they say won't cross water in the first place. Somebody is not able to give child, then the one they will be carrying the juju, but the same people will go to the pastor will use another juju on them. So now it's juju here, and everybody is just conjuring each other. And then once in a while, by mistake, the child, they will actually give birth. You say, I'm teamwork. You see the pastor, he says, very good pastor. So how much will pay pastor? Go bring $5,000 now. And when they really want to, emotionally control you, they will tell you, the pastor will tell you, so you see what the Lord has done for you now. How much do you think that a child is worth? You see, it's emotional blackmail. How much do you think, based on what the Lord has done for you now, how much do you think that child is worth in the eyes of the Lord? So now they are not asking you to put a price tag on your own child. See, your brain will start thinking, hey, 1,000 naira, not do. $5,000, not do. 10,000, Hey, even that 10,000 will be difficult to get. So you now go and bring $10,000, even when you don't have it, go and borrow money because that child is more valuable to you. And then you will even come to the church and excuse yourself to the pastor to say, Pastor, please, it is only this $10,000 so that we can raise. Please take. The pastor will still make you feel guilty that you were only able to raise $10,000. Man, this is serious. So, do you know that there are people today who have $1 million business that were created with less than $10,000? My first business, I created it with $2,500. There was a credit card limit that I had, and I used everything. I sold the company for $500,000 less than 2 years later. That is the power of $10,000 when it's well spent. $2,500. I'm not talking about $10,000. So you go and carry $10,000 and give it to the man of God. Because the man of God has tricked you, mentally screwed you up, that you think now that, that child that you got now, that child came because of all the prayers. If you have just stayed in one place and not pray, you have the same thing. You have the same thing. I'm talking out of experience, man. Yeah. I am more successful today in what I do because that mentality, that religious mentality is out of my brain. For a very long time, it's out of my brain. If there's a problem, tell me to come and pray for it. You're wasting your time. I will never pray for a problem. I never pray for the problem. In fact, the day you will see me pray for a problem, you know that I'm gone. I cannot come up with a mental solution anymore, because Einstein said there is no problem that a man has that he cannot think his way out of. That's what Einstein said. Any problem you have, you can think your way out of it. You can pray if you like, but it's not the prayer that does it. And I have proven it. I was so pissed off. I said, okay, the next 1 year, I'm not going to pray at all. And I ended up doing it for 5 years. Not going to pray at all. Because I was fed up of prayer. Never going to pray at all. You know why? Because I said, I am going to prove that I can do all I want to do without one single word of prayer. Talk less of saying that pastor can't talk this one. And in those years, I actually achieved more. And I'm still achieving much more, because I have learned that when there is a problem, your brain can think itself out of it. And it is more faster, because people go and pray and wait. After they pray, they go sit down, they wait for God. Whereas, that's not what God did. That's what not God said you should do. God created you with the ability to think yourself out of any problem. But now you've decided that you're not going to do that, because the pastor said, God, leave it for God. God will do it. Meanwhile, you are not doing it. You are not doing it, and God is not doing it either. Because God has no agreement with you. God has no agreement. Yourself. You're just praying, and you expect God to do it. But God never told you He's going to do it. God doesn't have agreement with you. God doesn't have any reason to even help you out of it. See, that's where the problem is. The Africans are stuck. So what has to happen, I'm going to tell you in the next video, because we need to move out of, the third video. We're going to move out of this stage. We're going to move out of this stage, mentally develop ourselves out of this stage, so that success can come. So that one day, when you go to Nigeria, you can start seeing things also work. Because the reason why things are not working is not number one, corruption. People always say corruption, corruption. Corruption is actually one of the last resort. When people have tried everything they cannot, then they say, oh, how am I going to make money now? I tried this, it not work. I tried this, it's not working. Try this, it not work. That's what leads to corruption. Because corruption is the lowest, type of crime you can commit, because what it actually says is that corrupt people have no confidence in themselves at all. I repeat, corrupt people have absolutely no confidence in themselves at all, their own ability to get something out of their life, unless they steal it, loot it, and take it from somebody else. That's what corruption is. Corruption is just the last resort that somebody has tried to run business. He has tried different things, and he cannot make it otherwise. So the only way now to get himself or herself the lifestyle that he always wanted to live is to go and be a corrupt person. You will never see somebody like me being corrupt, because no matter where you put me, I'll work myself out of it. I don't take 1 naira from anybody. Never did, and I will never start tomorrow. If you lose one, somebody once dropped 50 kobo in my place, and I still have the 50 kobo. I will show you. Many people don't even know this. This is Nigeria 50 kobo. I always have it in my drawer. Somebody once, long time ago, I was in Nigeria, very long time ago, 30 years ago. Somebody came to my place and forgot the 50 kobo. So this 50 kobo, I took it and I put it in my wallet. This 50 kobo doesn't belong to me, so it's still there. I know where it is. So, and if somebody wants to have it back, the person can get it. I know the person that dropped this 50 naira. you know. But anytime I look at the 15 naira, I remember the person. So for people like me, we don't loot money. We don't go and cheat other people. We are not corrupt because we know that we are capable of getting money anytime we want by just thinking and working hard at it. And because that is the message the pastor is supposed to be preaching. Because that capability is what God created in every single one of us. You can do it. I have done it, and I do it every day. And every single person in the world have the capability to do it. The only problem is that there are people out there who keep telling you that you cannot do it. So that voice in your head, I always say, no, they work, they work. They have put amplifier on it on both sides, stereo amplifier, and put two big speakers at the back, Dolby surround. So once that they turn it on, that voice will get very loud in the head. That's why people are not doing anything. That's why there is corruption. That's why all these things are going on. Because even the governor think that, anytime somebody criticizes the governor, he thinks that there are demons that are sitting on him. That is why he cannot get anything done. A governor of every state in Nigeria thinks that the demon is bothering him. Some of them are right, because they have done a lot of bad things before. So I can imagine that. But if you look at what these governors are doing, it's just that they have never sat down with the right people to have a talk with them. I say, look, what of if a governor really sit down with me and have a proper talk on agriculture, or have a proper talk on mobilizing the youth, educating them, training them to do the right thing. There are so many things that we can do together and then really start doing it. It's not just talk. Go start tomorrow. You'll be surprised how fast things develop in any state in Nigeria. But they don't want to do that. But if you talk with the governors privately, they will say to you, the demon is bothering them. So they order pastor. They will call a pastor and say, come, $1 million, come bless me. The pastor will come to their house and bless them. So they will go on with their own stupidity again. That is the madness that the pastors have created in Nigeria. So this conversation is going to go on. Those who think I'm going to stop tomorrow, they are lying. Aroms is not going to stop. This is going to go on because I don't see any other way for the black man to move forward unless the head is cleaned up. And we're going to start with church. After we have cleaned it up from the church, before we can start teaching business. Because any business skills that I'm going to teach now, it doesn't work. Because the person that I'm teaching, he doesn't have the capability most of the time to assimilate what I'm teaching. So because the voice, that big voice the pastor has put in the head, the pastor amplifies it all the time. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how far I'm going to go today. This is going to be a big topic. I'm going to make a part 2 because I've given you 5 points now. Okay, they are all in the video. You can go back. In the next video, I don't know when, maybe tomorrow or next, I'm going to give you the 5. Okay, after those 5, then I'm going to round it up in the third video with telling you what you need to be doing today to get out of that mental brainwash. It has to happen. It has to happen. That is the only way we can all move forward. So thank you very much. Spread this video. Make sure that everybody gets it. Distribute it. Get the pastors crazy with it. Let them know that the time has come for us as black people, especially Nigerians and Africans, to get the liberation. And the liberation will first start with the mind. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.